We are live.
Yay!
Yay! Hi, everyone. So we've had the pleasure the last 2 days hanging out together.
Yes.
And it's been great.
And it has been great. We've been at the Louisville Bookfest here in Louisville, Kentucky, where authors around the country have come together to share their message. The cool part is none of us knew what tables we were going to get. None of us knew who we'd be sitting next to. And weirdly enough, the universe, not weirdly, beautifully enough, the universe put us together and we became like family.
Yay!
And it is just proof of like, as authors, we get each other in ways that nobody else gets each other.
For sure.
Right?
And again, for the whole, fortuitousness of the universe, we got placed with Stephanie, who, as we are like these newbie authors that are like having somebody like Stephanie who could help us, give us tips on ways to make our books more successful, our businesses more successful. It was like a godsend.
Exactly. Not only how to sort of take the book we've already written and consider ways to market it more fully or to expand our reach, but also for the future, if we write another book, if we become when they write another book, we write another book to have great ideas on the best way to do that for us.
So we have someone watching. Is this your friend? No, Renee?
No.
Hi, I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for watching. We love this and we love authors. So I don't know. I mean, my husband was asking me how many people were here. How many authors? I mean, I don't know, 50, 75?
Something like
I think
it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, writing a book is like a siloed journey, right? Where you're at your house and the door's shut and you're like for hours poking at the keyboard. So getting around other people that understand how to do it has just been awesome. So I told him, I said, hey, we're going to go live and we're going to tell everybody about how cool it is to be an author and a little bit about each of y'all, because I've learned so much about them and their books are so cool. And I wanted them to share with you a little bit about their books. So Mandy, go first. Tell us about this gorgeous book.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I love it.
Well, I'm a first-time author and I wrote this little book, Perceptions, Pleasures, and Powers. And it's a compilation of reflections for folks to sort of take space to, tune in to themselves, tune in to their passions and where they feel their passions or their deepest self is aligned with the needs of the world. And then paired with the reflections are practices. So like things to try in your daily life, see how they resonate, see how they don't, and see what that teaches you about yourself and how you can continue to show up authentically and on behalf of the greater good. So yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing. And this was something that came out of COVID, correct?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Through COVID 2020 and all that was happening, especially locally at that time. And I had 3, pretty young children at that time.
Which we met today.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I met her children. I know we're both moms of 3. Crazy. And, having a 1, 3, and a 5-year-old at home through the pandemic. I know I'm speaking to people who understand what it's like to be a parent in the midst of a pandemic. It's tough. And so making the intentional space to sort of have this outlet. And then it became like this thing, this gift to me and a hope to others.
So Mandy she attended a workshop I did yesterday. You didn't attend today's, but I'm going to tell you what her Halloween costume needs to be. There was someone in today's workshop who walked in and goes, I know what my Halloween costume is. It is an accomplished, confident, published author. And Mandy's like, I don't know. It's been hard to say I'm an author. So that's your Halloween costume.
My Halloween costume now. That's exactly. And then I'll just become it. I'll keep pretending it and, embodying it. It's been really tough. So folks out there who maybe you have even published a darn book and you still can't even see yourself. I don't see myself the way I see these dear friends here. I just can't. I'm still working on that journey. So you're not alone. No, you're not alone. And actually, I have learned that all of us authors and everybody actually, we all deal with this imposter syndrome, right? And so, if we just talk about it, then we normalize it. And you did it, girl. Thanks.
And it's beautiful, and it is a limited edition copy of
nice
the
way
book.
to say
It is so you want to be one of the
Open it up
few
and
that
show
have
some of
it.
the artwork. It's got some
Alright.
beautiful artwork.
Gorgeous. The
Yeah.
printing process is gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. It's just so inspirational.
Yeah.
We have her website here. That's probably the best way for them to get a hold of you to
For
learn
sure.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
right. You
Okay,
can order the book there or learn more about the work I do.
that's awesome. Well, Mandy's fantastic.
Thank you.
And then we have
Dun, dun, dun,
dun dun dun. I've been calling him Dan the Man. I don't know if you like
Dan
that
the
or not, Dan,
Man.
but Dan the Man.
Right. So so I did Tales from the Kentucky Hemp Highway,
Awesome.
which is a narrative history of the Kentucky hemp industry based on the 12 historical markers that have been placed throughout the state. It's organized by county so that you can try to find things easily. And it's kind of like a companion piece to the self-directed tourist tour. You've heard of the Bourbon Trail, and you've heard of the Lincoln Heritage Trail. Well, now there's the Hemp Highway, and it'll take you around the state and teach you about different people and different events and different eras of the Kentucky hemp industry. And the book takes you a little bit deeper than the historical markers can. And we take some deep dives into the relationship between the hemp industry and the exploitation of enslaved people. We do a little bit of a deep dive into World War II and hemp for victory, and some deep dive into the binder twine era and why did hemp just sort of fade away at the beginning of the 20th century. And so that's my book.
That's
buy my
amazing.
book, then
So
go on the
good.
tour and buy my T-shirt
And
and
all
my,
the
and all my
things.
Get all the
swag.
merch.
Get
all my
all
bumper
the
stickers
things.
and all that stuff. And honestly, and this is something that I picked up from talking to Stephanie. She was like, unless you're Stephen King, you're not going to get rich selling books. But how does this grow your business?
Yeah.
And so my business is to educate people and to let you come to Kentucky and learn this stuff firsthand. There's cool places to go and see.
Yeah.
And this is your travel guide.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Kentucky is just cool. I
It is
mean,
cool.
we're partial.
Yeah, we are
We
fine.
We're
all
partial. But I mean, I love Kentucky. So tell me, how did you research for this? I'm curious.
Oh, wow.
That's a great
So
question.
thank God for the internet.
Yeah, imagine life
That
without
was
it.
huge. One of the coolest things that came out of this book, though, there was a guy in Bourbon County, and somebody had sent me a picture, and there was like this barn with this warehouse with this old hemp processing equipment. So I went out to his location, and everything that was put in place in like 1906 is still in place. Well, they had all their business records. There were 30,
oh my God.
30 things of business records dating back to 1906 about the hemp industry.
Wow.
I helped them coordinate the donation of those to the special collections at the University of Kentucky Library.
That is
So
cool.
it was awesome. It was like the coolest
Oh
thing.
my
And then I got to be the
gosh.
first person to go in there and research on it.
Oh, that's
That's
amazing.
amazing.
I
Yeah,
would
that
love
was
to have
awesome.
that.
I know. I was like, whoa, it gave me chills when I did it.
So there's an author I'm working with right now, and he what he talks about is what you did. He said, when you hit a hurdle and you don't know the answer, let that search for knowledge be the door opener and open your eyes to get to the truth of stuff and research and keep going. And he wrote a historical fiction novel about the early settlements here to the U.S. From the early colonial times, and he did some deep diving and realized that the real story and the story aren't the same. So interesting. That to be said, you go on a tour of research and deep dive and really get immersed in it. And I think that's something that authors do that people who read books don't understand or know.
Right.
That it's not something some of us just wake up with it, but sometimes you got to really understand it and learn and uncover cool things.
When I was a kid, 1975, the big movie was Jaws, right? So there was a lot of information.
Nice.
And they did a special about it. And what part of the special was how much time Peter Benchley, the author of the book, did on sharks and shark attacks. So he spent a whole time immersing himself into the world of sharks before he wrote this amazing book about a monster shark.
That's amazing.
So that's what we do, a lot of times is we get into these things that interest us, and how do we turn it into something that maybe somebody else gives a rat's terrier about.
Well, and that's what, we were talking earlier about the 2 drafts, right? Like, you can write it and love it because it matters to you, but when you so I already love this. Like I have rubbed off on Dan the man. But the flip side is when you say that someone actually cares about, and that's where it becomes a marketable book and something that people will invest in and buy. But it's not even about that. You're in the business of like spreading a message. A book is a conduit to do it. It's something bigger that's behind it. Just so happens that the book becomes the tool to be able to help you share it. And each of y'all are doing that, and it's amazing. Like it's been such I literally feel like I've been sitting around like a reunion of people that like were family, and I didn't know that they were family. You know, it's been it's been amazing.
It has been so special.
It has been very special. Absolutely. And of course, I will share too. I was able to talk a little bit about my new book, which was so much fun. Yeah.
Yes.
Make Your Author Impact, that has been really a gift to help authors market their books. So anyways, I couldn't wrap up today without introducing y'all to some of my new family and friends. And as you know, I think every author is like extended family in my world. So I just thank you for what you did and what you've done and what you're going to do. The world, like your story matters, their stories matter. And go out and like make a difference and make an impact and change lives, and great things will come from it.
Don't be afraid to put the words to paper and then ask somebody like Stephanie to. I mean, in a lot of ways, I wish never too late to meet somebody and realize what they can teach you. But I wish I'd had this opportunity sooner, because I feel like I could have been more productive with how I was helping this get out to
exactly
people. Like,
well, and something you said in your presentation was you don't have to do it all. You don't have to know how to do it all, to your point. And I mean, even here, it might be silly, but it was nice being able to like, I'll watch your table while you go do your presentation, or you watch my table while I use the bathroom or see other authors. It's like, we don't have to do it alone.
Nope.
So you have your creative passion, you have your focused, interests.
Yeah.
And then you have folks who can accompany you through the parts that might feel scary or intimidating. And we got each other.
We have each other. We have each other's back, and it's okay to wave your white flag of surrender, right? Like that's okay, but that doesn't mean that should be a barrier from you to accomplishing something you love and that only you could ever accomplish. So
now, didn't you say that your first manuscript sat there for a while before
did.
you had the courage to go out?
It did. It sat there. I'm sorry. It sat there for a while, and then I got early feedback on it that I didn't like, and then it sat there even longer. And so that's true.
But the moral of the story is eventually you pushed through that obstacle, and here you are, and you've got a successful business.
Yep, absolutely.
And you're helping other people be successful at what they love.
Yep.
That sounds like a win-win to me.
I call that a fail forward.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so fail forward. So we're all going to make
that.
mistakes. I make them on the regular. Just ask my kiddos; they'll tell you. It's what you do with the hardships, with the learnings, right? If you are gonna let it like stifle you and stop, then that's just failure. And I don't like failure. But if you use it as a catalyst to push forward, then you're gonna be better because of it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Go team! Yay! Well, go support Mandy and Dan. Their books are awesome, and they're just awesome people. And if you go to the Louisville Bookfest website, there are tons of authors who were here that we've all had the pleasure of meeting. I highly encourage you to go support an author you are wanting to meet, to get to know, that is in your community, because it means a lot to us. So thanks, guys. This was their first live. They're like, what are you wanting to do? But they did great.
We did great.
We did great.
They did great.
Yep. Go.
I know.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.